Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we continue the series of ranking every single starting position on every single NBA team. For this video, we are going to be doing the center position, guys. So we've done point guard, we've done shooting guard, we are doing center next, and this one's actually going to be pretty difficult to do just because I feel like centers, the way they are utilizing the offense, are just like so diversified compared to other positions. Like sometimes you have guys like Carlton Towns that bring you like some of the greatest offense in the NBA. Other times you have players like Steven Adams who like doesn't really excel offensively, but just his value of like those grit and grind, you know, like setting screens and crashing the boards and stuff like that is very important. You got Hassan Whiteside, who was a top player, you know, blocking shots. So just so many ways the center spot can dominate at their position, or also not dominate, however you want to look at it. So this one, man, I'm expecting a lot of people to get upset in the comments. So if you want to say something mean real quick, man, get down to that comment section below and say that mean thing. But also, if you don't mind dropping that like, just because, you know, we're all grown-ass men up in here, man. We're just having a good time talking about basketball. That would also be appreciated. But yes, okay, so the format for this one's going to be way better. I know the last two, I'll record them back to back, and I did a straight line, and you guys pointed out, yo, Crispy, you literally have all this space. So we are going to do 3 rows of 10. I think that should look a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to start off with that. The guy that I have as the best center in the NBA. Why am I not seeing him, guys? Where is he at? Bro, where is Joel Embiid? Okay, guys, no need to panic. We're here, man. We're here, guys. Okay, man. So, starting off with number 1, I think when completely healthy, I'm assuming that for every single one of these guys, I do think that Joel Embiid is the best center in the NBA. Now, obviously, you know, Jokic is probably better overall offensively, but I do think that Embiid still is a great dominant offensive player, but also what he brings defensively is kind of the difference maker. Now, Jokic is better at, like, you know, playmaking, like assists and passing and stuff like that, but yeah, I think when completely healthy, but that's the thing, you know, when Jokic is more consistent, if that was going to say, like, the more, like, consistent starting centers, then obviously Jokic would be above him, man, and that's me saying that Jokic is one of my favorite players in the NBA. So, number 1, I have Embiid. Number 2, I do have Jokic, though, and then things start getting, you know, man, this is gonna be a difficult video. This one's gonna be difficult. There's just like so many just like guys that are good for different reasons. I do think the 3rd best center in the NBA is Carlton Towns. You can't really ignore what he does offensively, man. It's absolutely, I mean, he's literally like a guard in a center's body, but also his defense has kind of gotten better over the years. He started off, used to be a really bad defensive center, but now he's averaging like 1-2 blocks per game. Still has a lot of room for improvement, but it's definitely not bad. So, alrighty, number 4 on this list. Now, at this point, I'll probably make some changes, but this is just kind of like what's coming to my mind at first. Number 4, I personally have Bam Adebayo, just because, like, once again, man, like, he was up there for, like, most improved player. Obviously, he was the starting center on the team that was in the NBA Finals, and he was a big reason why they were there, and obviously a player they were missing big time when he had that next trade and stuff like that. But, yeah. He's fantastic. He still has areas of his game he can improve on. It would be nice if he can continue, you know, to expand his range a little bit. And, yeah, that would be nice. Next up, I probably personally have to say Rudy Gobert, and that is towards respect to his defense. Obviously, top defensive center in the NBA. Is a little bit more limited offensively than these other guys, you know, in front of him on the list. But, you know, Rudy Gobert can still get it done offensively. Can still score around the basket, catch lobs, do things like that. Got a little bit of a hook shot. But, yeah, so I got him for right there. Now after him, okay, we might have to do just like some middle of the road guys pretty soon here. Okay, so we got 5 more across here. Who would I say is after Rudy Gobert? Am I going to say... We got a lot of good players on this list here, man. I'm kind of leaning towards Vucevic. I mean, he was an all-star, you know, not a season or about a season ago. Just a really solid overall center for the Orlando Magic. I do think he's really nice, man. So we're going to have him there for right now. No guarantees he stays at that spot, but I do like his game a lot. After him, we are probably going to have to go with... Let's see, we got DeAndre Ayton, we got LaMarcus Aldridge. Miles Turner's obviously pretty nice, but I don't think he's definitely up on this quite high up yet. Valanciunas is very nice for the Memphis Grizzlies when healthy. Andre Drummond is still, you know, can still get you 20 points, 20 rebounds on a nightly basis. I do think from a skill standpoint, I'm kind of starting to lean towards DeAndre Ayton. No, wait. I'm going to say Jonas Valanciunas, because I think his offense is big time. He also can crash the boards, play some defense. Next, I'm going to say DeAndre Ayton. And then I think I'm going to go with Andre Drummond. A lot of people like to underrate Andre Drummond, but just because he doesn't really fit into like the modern day NBA, I actually think Drummond is probably better than Ayton. He's just always put up kind of like more like consistent stats. He's also pretty solid defensively too. I mean, he's got really quick hands and everything like that. He doesn't really fit in the modern NBA. Not say DeAndre Ayton does either, but at least Ayton can kind of shoot threes. So we'll have him right there. Oh, after DeAndre Ayton, I think you probably have to go with like a LaMarcus Aldridge. I know he's getting up there in age, but he can still get it done. I just think, there's things that he's limited at just with his age and stuff like that. So we got that for top 10. Number 11. I'm looking at this list. Number 11. Who's just like screaming to me, man? Who's screaming to me? Steven Adams. I think we got to give Steven Adams his respect for, like I said, setting those hard picks, just being a grit and grind guy out there. Steven Adams actually kind of reminds me of like the modern day Ben Wallace, where, Ben Wallace actually gets disrespected now. Like, people don't really just like don't talk about Ben Wallace, but that's because a lot of things he did not show up on the stat sheet. And that's kind of what Steven Adams is. Like, he does a lot of great things. It just does not always show up on the stat sheet. So, yeah, we got him right there. After him, we are probably going to go with, man, Clint Capella was actually nice on the Houston Rockets. Very similar to like a Andre Drummond, maybe just not as good, but very similar, just doesn't really fit in like modern NBA stuff. So I'm going to have Clint Capella right here for right now. I think that feels right. No, we're going to put him right here. Yeah, I think I'm going to, let's have C-Mavs right there. After Adams, I'm actually have Brooke Lopez. I mean, this guy, just like what he's done to his game over the years, like I think he's the all-time leading scorer for the Brooklyn Nets franchise. And that was like in an era where he just dominated in the post. And then he went to the Bucks. He's like, you know what? NBA's changing. I'm going to change my game. And yeah, he's a great three-point shooter. Not as good last season, but he's definitely added a three-point shot to his game. A top defensive center. Big reason why that Bucks defense is so dominant. So I think it's important to have him right there on this list too. Okay, so after Clint Capella, I am going to say, man, like Miles Turner is really screaming at me, man. I think I got to go with Miles Turner. And you could actually argue that Miles Turner is maybe a little bit farther back this way. The only issue about Miles Turner, though, is that I'm still waiting for him to continue to improve. Like, he's just, I don't know, it seems like he's kind of stagnated as a player. But he's like one of those guys, extremely athletic, potentially be a top, the top defensive player in the NBA, the top center, I should say. Shoot the three ball, shoot the mid-range shot. It's just like, maybe, it's almost like he lacks confidence at time, or maybe it was just the coach not utilizing him enough in the offense. So yeah, I'm going to have him right there for right now. But yeah, it's still a top 15 center. That's still really good and everything. And then after Miles Turner, I am going to probably have to say Wendell Carter. I just feel like I've not seen enough of him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've just not seen enough Wendell Carter because he's been injured so much. I feel like that is kind of a factor to it. I mean, Joel Embiid, we've seen enough Joel Embiid. It's like, well, yes, he gets injuries, but we know what he is. But I'm going to say next up, do I want to say Derek Favors? Am I there yet? Holmes was really nice for the Kings. Love Holmes right here at 15. That feels nice. And then after Holmes, I'm probably actually going to go with Christian Wood. Now, a lot of this is based off of potential. It's more towards like the last 10 games for the Detroit Pistons. Once Drummond was off the team and stuff, he was averaging 23 points and 12 rebounds per game. It's a very small sample size, but we definitely do see that skill from him. So we'll have him at that spot. Then after Christian Wood, I am probably going to have to say Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen is kind of like, I feel like Jarrett Allen could be like a Rudy Gobert. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a little bit better offensive version of Rudy Gobert. It's just that, we still got to see a little more out of him. After Jarrett Allen, I think I am going to list, because Marc Gasol has been kind of limited in his role. Like if it was 2 years ago, Marc Gasol is way up this list, top 10 center, but he's been so limited. He's actually not even, I actually think he's not even playing the NBA anymore. Like he's going to go back overseas or something like that and play over there, but we'll still put him on the list because he's here. But I think next up, we probably have to say Hassan Whiteside. And, Hassan Whiteside is literally the definition of a stat batter in a contract season. Every single contract season that comes around, he just starts balling out, man. And it's kind of embarrassing that's, it's like once he gets that contract, he stops really trying. But we're going to have him right there. Then next up, I'm going to say Marc Gasol. And now we're really getting down to specialist types of players. You have PJ Tucker, who brings great defense, can shoot that corner three ball, but isn't really highly utilized in an offense. Man, I'm going to say now, okay, Maxi Kleber's okay. I wish it was Dwight Powell there. He's a bit better. I think that's Maxi Kleber, right? Yeah. Next up, I think I'm going to go with Derek Favors. Because then you get to like Cody Zeller, and I think Derek Favors overall is better than Cody Zeller. I'm going to say Cody Zeller, who's just like a good serviceable center. Nobody's special, but none of these guys we're getting to are all that special anymore anyway. I feel like Tice might be getting a little disrespected out here, though. Because it's like, but I'd rather have Cody Zeller or I'd rather have Tice. Because Tice, to me, is perfect for the Boston Celtics. But, like, if you replaced him with, like, Cody Zeller and put Tice on the Charlotte Hornets, I don't feel like what he does is as good. So, yeah, I think that's kind of important. I'm going to put, let me move Zeller down one. And let me put Wendell Carter in front of Zeller. And my hopes is that Carter can, like, jump up to, like, this row next season. I really think he can. It's just, but, people are going to say I'm being biased because of Christian Wood. It's just, I've seen Christian Wood put up big-time numbers, man. So, yeah, you can say I'm being biased. I don't mean to come off that way. It's just kind of, like, my expectations. And even looking at free agent this year, like, Christian Wood is, like, a highly sought-out, free agent for a reason. So, after Zeller, let's go with Tice. Tice feels nice. Zubac is like, he's a starting center, but he's really the backup center if you really think about it because of Montrezl Harrell. So, yeah. I think next I'm going to go with PJ Tucker, for his defense. Both these guys are great defensive players. Both can shoot threes. PJ Tucker probably shoots a little bit better, but I think Tice just brings you maybe a little bit more energy. And then after Tucker, Javel Mcgee is also, like, not really the starting center. I mean, it's like him, Dwight Howard. Sometimes they do AD at center, but not really all that often. So it depends on really the matchup, right? Let's go with... Javel was nice this season. I'm going to go with Javel. Then I'm going to go with Zubac. Thomas Bryant has a lot of potential. His defense is ass. His defense is straight up ass, though, man. But I'm going to have him next on the list. Marquise Chris, I hope he gets a spot in the NBA next season. Kleber, to me, is a great center. I like him more. I love him as a backup center. I don't love him as a starting center, if that makes sense. Like, I think the Mavericks are better when, like, Dwight Powell is the starting center on that team. So that's the only reason. It's just because, like, I don't really expect him to start next season anyway. It's going to be Porzingis and Dwight Powell if healthy. And then, Taj Gibson, I mean, he's just washed up at this point. He used to be a great player for the Chicago Bulls and stuff. Mitch Robinson should be the starter. I think he probably will be next season. But overall, man, I feel like this is my list. And Joel Embiid, Jokic, Kat, Bam, Rudy, Vucevic, Jonas Valanciunas, Drummond, Ayton, LaMarcus Aldridge. That top 10 seems pretty good there, man. That top 10 seems good. Adams, Lopez, Clint Capella. Listen, Clint Capella could go up or down depending on how he actually does with the Atlanta Hawks. Miles Turner, Holmes, Christian Wood. You might say he's a little overrated, but like I said, man, that's just it's a small sample size, but I think he has potential to be up here next season anyway. Jarrett Allen, it's not why he signed Marc Gasol. That's only because he's kind of been like limited. Serge Ibaka plays a lot of the minutes at center position. Derek Favors, fine player, nothing special. Wendell Carter, have not seen enough due to injury, but could be up higher on this list, no doubt. Like, I would be okay if you put like Wendell like after Jarrett Allen. He's that switchable to me, man. So don't get too mad about that if you're a Bulls fan. Cody Zeller, serviceable starting center, is about all he is, average. Daniel Tice, I like him. I'm still kind of debating on Tice over Cody Zeller, if I'm being honest. PJ Tucker, just kind of limited in offense and stuff, but defensively he's nice, obviously. Javel Mcgee, Zubac, Thomas, Marquise Chris, Maxi Kleber, and Taj Gibson, man. I think it's a pretty good list. I know somebody's going to be pissed off at me in the comments, man, but, that's how it is. There is absolutely zero combination or formulation of players that I could do where there would not be a handful of people mad at me in the comments. It's just because we all view basketball players differently. We all view the center position differently, like how they're utilized and what we want to see out there, right, man? So I like this list. I feel pretty confident about this one. I will say out of my three so far, my most controversial was probably the point guard. I looked back at that one. I was like, yeah, I actually did put Trae Young a little too high on that one. Shooting guard, I thought I did pretty solid in. This one I am liking. And I also think this is one of the most difficult positions to really dictate, guys. So hope you all enjoyed this video. If you don't mind dropping that like, of course, subscribing if you are new to the channel. And peace out, my friends.